story.
Innovation is part of the Trans-century DNA. Across the subsidiaries, all our subsidiaries have actually been very innovative. And even going forward, that will continue to be part and parcel of our strategy. Because if you look at some of the companies, allow me to use some of the examples from some of our subsidiaries. You take East African Cables, for example. They've been very innovative over the years. They have the submersible cables, for example, that's very useful in agriculture. They have another product called Zinduka. Zinduka is actually used to authenticate that you actually have an East African cable. So some of these products have been very, very creative. If you take, for example, some of our other businesses, if you take Tanarek, it's also another good company, example of a company that has also been very innovative. As I mentioned in the past, it's the largest manufacturer of transformers. So when a transformer is brought in for repair, instead of replacing the oil in that transformer, they actually refurbish the oil. I don't know, maybe that's the term for it. Refurbish the oil and reuse that oil again. And as a matter of fact, even now they are actually even migrating away from that oil and using vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is biodegradable. It means now we are not adding to pollution, which also addresses some of the ESG questions out there. And then if I may move on to use another example, AEA. AEA, again, over the years has also been very innovative. They have this product called, for example... Just
for the sake for viewers, what's AEA?
AEA, which is also called Every East Africa. Actually, it used to be called Every East Africa, but now goes by AEA. Has also been very innovative. For example, they came up with this Kilo Sahihi, product that's been used by farmers all over the country. They have, they have other interesting things. For example, weighing motion. Weighing motion is actually used in the bridges across the expressway and some of the southern bypasses and so forth, the roads in this market. So again, innovation is actually just part of the DNA for Trans-century, and it has to be for any company for that matter, if you are going to be successful and continue being a value creator going forward.
Yes. That's interesting, and maybe this could have been almost the part in short, but let's talk about your promise now. With all these strategies, you've raised funds, you're really working on the turnaround strategy of all these particular subsidiaries. Any shareholders who are watching you is really having high hopes now that yes, I'm about to really enjoy the benefits of being part of this particular group. What's your promise to shareholders who are watching today?
Our promise to the shareholders is that we are positioning this company for success going forward. We have introduced good governance. We have extremely capable and talented management teams to execute on the strategy. We have a strategy that can be executed on, no question about it. And as I mentioned, we have the management team to be able to do that. And then in addition to that, we have order books across the spectrum with all our subsidiaries that can also be executed on. So the company is actually very well positioned going forward. It's also positioned even, for example, I had last night with the president saying that he needs manufacturing to increase all the way to 18% of the GDP. So we are well positioned across the group to take advantage of many of these opportunities. And I can assure you that going forward, the tomorrows of our future for sure will be better than the yesterdays of our past.
Okay, it's quite optimistic and I love it. You've mentioned what the president talked about in terms of manufacturing, and that name rings a bell because first of all, congratulations, because recently you were appointed by His Excellency as the chairman of the Competition Authority of Kenya, which is a very key body when it comes to just the landscape of business in this country. There's a lot we could speak about, and I know I cannot just go to the details of what you're doing because you just recently got appointed. But I'm keen to know what it means to you. And secondly, just speak on leadership and looking at the scope, because you have traversed East Africa well and you're doing business in East Africa. What is this at the core for you when you look at leadership in this particular region?
All right, thank you for the question. I'm very grateful to the President for giving me the opportunity to serve in that role. As far as competition authority is concerned, our role there is just to ensure that we have a competitive environment for all the companies, for all the businesses in this market to be able to thrive. So that's our role there.
Absolutely.
As far as leadership is concerned, leadership in Kenya and across East Africa, I'm a firm believer that Africans are the solution providers for the African challenges.
Yes.
And so you find that across the spectrum, majority of our businesses, if not all of them, are led by Africans who are knowledgeable in the environment that that business is in. So and we have extremely capable leaders in this market who can be able and are able to take up those roles. Not only at the C-suites, but also at the board levels and various other aspects of the business, so to speak.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. And Shaka just recently came across this article, Top 25 Most Impactful Chairs of Boards Influencing Business in 2023. Very latest, and you're here, and I'm glad to be really speaking with you. My quick question is this: what's your secret, and is there any piece of advice you could give anybody who's aspiring as well to find themselves in that list?
Well, thank you for the question. I'm not sure I have a secret per se, but it is something that has actually worked very well over the years. It's actually being able to identify the right people who can sit in the right seats when it comes to running businesses. And I always say, any business, it's not necessarily, for example, we're here at East African Cables. It's not necessarily about the cables business. From where I sit, it's about the people. Making sure that you have the right people running those businesses, making sure that you're treating those people the right way, that they are your number one priority. Because if you treat them as their number one priority, then they will be able subsequently to be able to deliver the product to the customer in a very customer satisfactory manner. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
There you have it. That's the Group Chairman, Tran Shaka Kariuki, very optimistic about the look of Tran PLC moving forward, and we can't wait. I'll be right here on the Trading Bell Show, keeping tabs with what's going on in all these particular subsidiaries and the group as a whole. Right now, I leave you with the market.